I'm Yasmin.
I'm Jordan.
And this is Unedited.
The edition.
Okay, whatever. Okay. Do you like watching football with all those people?
No, I don't like watching football with people.
This is
I'll
stressing me out.
backtrack in case she posts that. But I don't like watching my team play
I don't
with
like people.
But I like watching random football games with people. Ones that don't affect my
So you're saying
stress
the ones
and
that, yes,
emotional
the
level.
ones you're invested in, you need to be alone.
Need to be alone.
We're ready.
Who's opening?
You!
Oh, sorry.
Just asked, I
meant to.
answered.
Well, welcome to Unedited, and it's good to be here. I'm Jordan. I'm joined by
Me, Yasmin.
Yasmin. How are you doing?
Doing good, really
Yeah?
well.
How's
It's been a
things?
good week.
Nice.
Like, I mean, I know it's early in the week. It's only halfway through.
Yeah.
But the weather's awesome.
It
It's
is
cool
good.
in the morning, cool in the evenings. I love that for
Yeah.
walking and for running and
Yeah.
for doing things.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, you know, it's like you wear a sweater in the morning.
I was
Everyone
just
talks
gonna say,
about it.
I was going to say, we're in that weird weather, right?
And then you need like a tank top in the afternoon.
Yes.
Unless you work where we work and it's
Yeah.
freezing in here all the time. But
Yeah.
other than that.
And then sweater by 8 o'clock, and then
Yeah.
winter coat by midnight kind of thing, right?
And it's beautiful
So-
out there, right? Like you gotta appreciate it. So.
It is. Do you got leaves in your yard or anything yet?
In the back. So we
Okay.
don't have any trees in the front anymore. One of
Okay.
the trees, a beautiful tree that we had for millions of years, died.
Oh, no.
So we had to have it cut down. So now we just get
Sorry,
like.
I'm not laughing at that.
It sucks because it was just so awesome, right? And then when it dies, it's dangerous because it can
Yeah. It could
fall
fall.
in your house or whatever. But anyway, so all the leaves that we get in the front now are from all of our neighbors.
Awesome. Yeah, we have one tree in the front that has leaves and these little red things. I don't know what they are. They're hard. They're circles.
Like those little berries?
Yeah, but they're not. You can't eat them, right? Like
Yeah,
they're-
I've seen those.
So
Yeah.
I was,
They look like little cranberries
I was
almost.
raking them up yesterday. They're the worst. They just get
They
everywhere.
stain everything.
Yeah, you're right. And they get mushy.
And you mush them all over. I know, we get some in our backyard.
So the beauty of fall, it brings all these neat things.
It's awesome when you're going for a walk, though, I'm telling you, or a
It
run.
is.
It is just like breathtaking downtown.
That time of year.
You
Well,
going
even
down
by
by
the
the
river,
river?
Spadina. That's where you see fall right now. Like in the residential areas,
Yeah.
you can't fully.
No, well, in some of
See it
those
yet.
ones, like, you know, when you go down those like narrow roads and they have all the trees that are like this,
Yeah.
some of those like city center kind of areas, those ones do. But yeah, you're right down by the river. There's so many places you can stand on, especially if you're like at the bridge or whatever, and you can just see the entire city,
Yeah.
and everything's different colors. Like
Nice.
it's just fabulous. So
No, that is beautiful.
it's great. It's my favorite season, which I know we've talked about before. But
Yeah, and we're heading into it. We're done with summer. It seems like, well, this
Sorry.
Saturday officially.
Officially.
I know producer Ashley is really particular about that, so we're
Yeah.
not going to jump the gun here. But what do you,
September 23rd.
What are you doing this fall?
Well, it's my birthday on Friday,
Awesome.
so
Are you going to party like it's 1999?
of course.
Yeah?
Yeah, of
Absolutely.
course. Or like it's 1978.
There you go.
Yeah. So I got my Friday. So what's fun about when you're an adult is you don't really do the really big things. Well,
Yeah.
I don't, anyways. It's
Okay.
just another day. But what's really nice is the people who are close to you often want to take you for lunch or for
Yes,
dinner,
yes.
and so like you kind of get like a whole week of that
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like my mom's taking me out on Wednesday, and
Yeah.
Dustin's gonna take me out on Friday, and like
Awesome.
you know what I mean. So it's like all these really fun things to look forward to.
That's good.
And then we have a big mission trip. We're going to Estonia.
Yes.
Dustin and
Yeah.
myself.
Have you been to anywhere near there?
Well, I've been to Europe, but no,
Okay.
not there. So
Okay.
we're excited and nervous all at once. It's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of work, a lot of on the ground work, but we're really excited to go. So
That's gonna be
It'll be
awesome.
an amazing experience. And Dustin and I have never done something like this together. So many times I've done mission trips, but
Yeah.
he wasn't able to go because of the kids or whatever. And so that's pretty good.
That's really cool.
And then we
Awesome.
also
How
have
long
a
is your
trip.
flight?
Oh, like really long.
Is it?
Like it's an entire day with like stopping.
Okay.
But the longest flight portion though is only 8 hours, and I've done longer than that on a plane at one time.
Okay.
So the one flight that's from Toronto to Frankfurt.
Okay.
It's 8 hours.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? But that's not where it stops,
I've only
right?
done a 4-hour flight, and I'm that person. You know, when they used to have those little TVs. I don't know if they still do. It's been a while.
Yes, they do.
I kept looking at our radar. Oh, here we are. Oh, here we are.
The whole
Oh, here
time?
we are. Well, every 10 minutes or so. How close are we? How close are we?
I put
How
on a
close are
movie
we?
and try to forget that I'm on an airplane.
Well, and that's probably the best thing to do.
Right. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to it. So it'll
Awesome.
be good. And then we have a trip planned at the end. You know, with those WestJet dollars, we got like basically a free trip.
There you go.
So we got lots to look forward to.
That's good.
And then
Yeah.
the next thing I'll know, it'll be Christmas.
It'll be Christmas.
Your favorite.
Before you know it. I love it.
What
Can't
about
wait.
you? Any plans?
Birthdays are coming up. Zara's birthday's this weekend. Looking forward to celebrating her. My birthday's at the end of October. So right by Halloween. So
We all have a lot of birthdays
always
right now.
interesting having it then. I'm looking forward to taking a little break, maybe going out, and, exploring nature a little bit. Maybe we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Might take a little trip somewhere.
What's Zara doing for her birthday? Like friends or out, like a
having
house party?
little party. She wants to do like a science party. She loves science.
That's cool.
So we're trying to like come up with some like lab experiments and different things like that.
That is a cool party.
To give her a go.
You gotta do the ones that like kind of explode
It's gonna be
and
the
expand.
first time we don't
like-
just rent like a plaything or something, right?
Yeah.
So it should be good. She's jacked about it. It's funny how kids like they just
That's so
count.
cool.
They start counting their birthday down like 2 days after their birthday.
I remember.
kind of thing, right?
I remember. Now it's like, I think it's on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. So it should be good. Thanksgiving's coming up. I like Thanksgiving. It's good. What else am I doing this fall?
Oh, that's weird. I'm not going to be home for Thanksgiving. I've never not had Thanksgiving with my family.
I'll eat a
I didn't
piece
even
of
think
pumpkin
about
pie
that.
for you.
Okay,
So-
that's good because I don't like pumpkin pie that much. So
Unless it's loaded with whipped cream,
whipped cream,
right?
yeah. As long as it's covered in
I
whipped
think
cream,
we
then I
covered
like
this
it.
before. Yeah, I might have to buy Grey Cup tickets, so we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens.
Grey Cup tickets?
Yeah, if the Bombers make the Grey Cup, that happens in fall.
But I thought
so,
that guy was injured, so now like the team's done.
That's the Jets. That's my NFL team.
Oh, right.
Quit bringing
I'm
up
mixing them up.
heartbreaking things on this show, okay? But no, the Jets are gonna they'll compete still, but the Bombers are the team that probably have a better chance of winning.
I went out with a friend the other day, and he's just like you, talking about sports.
That's awesome.
And he's telling me all this stuff, and I
Yeah.
knew some of the answers because of you.
Did
He was
ya?
telling me about the Achilles injury and
Oh,
all
no.
that. I was like, oh, I've seen it in slow motion. I know exactly what you're talking
man,
about.
that's a terrible.
You would have been
slow motion to
super
watch,
proud
eh?
of me. I know, because he had it like on his thing, and he was showing it to me too. I was like, that's gross.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're teaching me something.
I'm
Anyways.
telling you, the knowledge of sports is coming off. Fall's always got good music too. I'm sure I'll catch a concert or two. Lots of good records coming out. Looking forward to that too.
That's good. That's
So,
good.
make
I don't
sense.
know. Have you? I haven't heard anything like big live coming. Have you?
Nothing crazy at the moment. No, I don't think so, eh?
Not right now,
Watch,
anyways.
we're probably missing something huge here.
Huge. Well, I know there's like musicals coming. I've seen lots of that in advertising and
Yeah.
on social media. Like there's like
Yeah.
a Alanis Morissette like themed one.
That's
like
right. Yeah, Jagged Little
Jagged
Pill.
Like a Pill. So it's not
Yeah.
about her. It's her music or whatever. But I think
Yeah.
it's about mental health. Actually, I think that one is about.
I saw somewhere
And
for Christmas the
then-
Nutcracker. There's
Yeah.
something with the Nutcracker going on. So
Yeah, and Persephone's got one going on, and so all that kind of
I
stuff.
really have to look into it and get actual facts on it soon, I guess.
Okay, but I do know some stuff that's actual facts is coming up this weekend.
Okay, what's that?
So right now at St. John's Cathedral,
Yeah.
there's this really cool moon exhibit.
Yeah, Museum of the Moon?
Museum of the Moon.
There you go.
Look at it. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's on right now. I think it doesn't start until like 7 o'clock at night, and it's just on donation, is what I've heard, for the symphony. So I encourage you to go check that out. I want to go just so I can get a picture, so it looks like I'm out at the moon.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Like holding the moon,
Yeah.
sitting
You could be
under
like
the
that
moon.
McDonald's moon person who used to play the piano in 1988, apparently.
Mac tonight. We just had it played for us. That's great.
Go look it up. McDonald's moon commercial.
No one even knows what we're talking
Maybe
about.
you remember
Rob.
that, maybe you don't. So.
Okay, so that's going on, and then there is the Light Festival that's happening in town as well at a bunch of different locations. So like down by the river,
Yeah.
Riversdale, Broadway, and I think on the Friday night it's at the U of S. So you might want to check that out. It's really fun for kids and stuff too, right? Because it's all in the evening and everything lights up. So
Yeah.
that could be really fun too. So.
Not to leave sports out because it'd be a,
Oh,
it'd be
here
a
we
pain
go.
not to do that. But
Yeah.
the Blades home opener.
Okay, that's a good
I
one.
think it's a Sunday. I'm pretty sure against Prince Albert. So
Against Prince
and
Albert?
we don't like Prince Albert when we're Blades fans. So
Why?
we cheer really
Why
hard
don't we?
against them.
Are they
it's a
good?
rivalry. No, not really.
Just because they're the closest to us?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
I never
the Blades
understood.
open the season in Regina, I think, on Saturday. And
Okay.
for some reason, that is a rivalry. But the Prince Albert one just seems way more intense. Like I love going to Blades Prince Albert games.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, I need to go to a game and see what it's like.
Yeah,
If
it'd
it's
be good.
cutthroat, it's always fun.
It is.
When it's intense.
It is. Yeah.
We'll have to check that out. Yeah, and then there's always lots of cool things to do in the city. One that
Yeah.
we're going to actually show you here right away. Stoked. Like,
Yeah.
what a cool place.
It is.
Right?
Very cool.
So many of you might know it as like the Wilson's Home and Garden. Isn't that what it used to be
Yeah,
called?
I
Like
think
years
so.
and years ago, because I'm always weirded out that that's still the same place because it doesn't.
Me too.
How it all like
'Cause
merged
it used
together.
to have like an outdoor mini golf course and like something else
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
here and then like a go-karts, right? But it's completely different now.
It's amazing in there. And so we went on a Tuesday. And
Happy Hour Tuesday.
But it worked out in our favor because everything was like half price for all of the arcades and stuff like that.
Happy Hour means that every arcade is like, if it's 6 tokens to play, on Tuesdays it's 3.
Yeah.
So.
Which is totally worth it because we got to play lots of games.
Yes.
And it was fun.
Absolutely.
And then they have amazing food in their restaurant. Like, we didn't even know what we wanted to choose. There were so many great things, but Ashley and I loved our dish.
Yep.
We had like a pokey kind of bowl thing. And you
Chicken
had an
club.
amazing sandwich.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And we
So
stole his
good.
fries too. They were really good. The fries were good.
They were good, eh?
When he got all nice and full. So.
They were fantastic, yeah.
But yeah, I would check it out. I'd like to do the go-karts. I've never done them.
Yeah, bowling would even be good. Like, if you made a whole day about it, like, they have a bunch of 10-pin bowling lanes on the one side, too.
And it's cool because they're all like digital games. So like, you don't have to just do your traditional bowling. You can play like Angry Birds with balls.
Exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure how it all works, but it's all like a digital thing. There's like a VIP area. There's like nice couches. You can get served at the tables. It's actually really amazing. And then I guess if you are done with all of the activities, you can go buy some like decor or some plants or whatever you want to do. Go get a succulent and go home.
Stuff to look at there, yeah. Absolutely.
Or no, actually, then Landmark's right next door. Then you can go to a movie.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
But you still have to go see the Barbie movie.
I do, actually.
I know.
It's on TV now, though.
Oh, what?
I can rent it on TV now.
Okay. Well, then
So,
you have to watch it and let me know.
Might rent it on TV. I'll let you know what I think.
Anyway, so check out what we did at Stoked in Saskatoon. I won!
She won that one.
Although I did better once the timer was stopped.
So did I.
No pressure, right?
Well, the rim becomes normal. I'm convinced of it. Yes.
All because of my weapons.
I was in first place the whole game and she shot me. Talk?
I like the talk.
I like to talk too. We're talking about fruit of the
Spirit.
There we go. We should do the whole talk like this. Where we just keep going back
Finish
and
each other's
forth, word
sentences.
for word. Maybe one day we'll try to
Then
figure
what
that
if
out.
I get it wrong? Then I'll feel stupid.
Then we'll have to correct ourselves.
I
And
know.
hopefully it's not theology we have to correct, right? Start throwing weird ideas out there after all.
I know.
But we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit, and so we've looked at love, and we've looked at joy, and now
Peace.
we're looking at peace, yes.
Which is our classic sign on Unedited.
That's right.
My favorite thing to do.
Just like that, yeah. And peace is interesting because before we started talking, you mentioned peace like a river. And
Like 2 seconds ago.
But it's funny though, because sometimes when you're in nature, you can feel peace, right?
100%. That's
Right?
where I actually, yes, that's where I do find
What brings you peace? Like, what's a scene that would feel peaceful to you?
Actually, right now, walking down by the river,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Seeing the river, seeing all of the leaves,
Yeah.
all of it. It's just the beauty of it all. It's so breathtaking that everything just has its place.
Yes. Okay.
And I don't know, I can't explain it, but I also feel closer to God there because I just can't understand how you don't believe in God when you see what I'm seeing. It's like, who could have planned this any better, right? You know what I mean? So.
No, I love that, and I think that's awesome. One of the things I should have mentioned.
And fresh air. I think fresh air is.
I think so too.
It brings you just peace and
Well, and in this province, fresh air has been like at a premium lately, right? Because of all the smoke and everything. And I'm not going to complain about that because obviously people are facing much stronger things in other places. But it's been a hazy kind of month or so going on here, right?
Yeah, and off and on throughout the summer. So
Yeah.
but fresh air, no, huge.
No, that's cool. That's cool. When we were talking earlier about things we want to do this fall, I was looking at some cabins actually that we're able to rent and stuff out in like up north near maybe Elk Ridge or maybe near Watchers.
Ooh, cool.
And yeah, but that brings me peace. That kind of setting where you're like chilling, you see some water, it's relaxing. There just feels like a peace vibe when you're in something like that, right? So when we're talking about peace and we're talking about it as a fruit of the Spirit, I think it is something that you feel, but I also think it's something that you have. Right?
Yeah.
It's not just a feeling. It is a feeling. Don't get me wrong. We're not taking emotions out of this altogether.
Yeah.
But it's something that you have. Jesus talked about this when he said, I've said these things to you in John 16:33. He said, I've said these things to you that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And I think Jesus was talking about there when he said that was that regardless of what you're going through, regardless of what you face, there's a peace that is just with you because I'm with you, right? It's a reassurance of his presence. It's a reassurance of his love. It's knowing that, and sometimes you have to fight feelings on this, right?
100%.
Because there are times when you don't feel very peaceful, and you might feel...
There's lots of times I don't feel very peaceful.
You might feel antsy, you might feel anxious, you might feel like overwhelmed by everything that's going on
Just
around you.
life, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And in that moment, it's interesting to go back to the scriptures, I think, and look at some of these verses on peace that can kind of allow you to recognize that even though you're not feeling it, that peace is there because of what God has done for you, right? And because of what he's given to you. I'll read a few more verses. In 2 Thessalonians 3:16, it says, now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times in every way. The Lord be with you all. And I think part of peace is knowing that God's with you. It's just knowing that regardless of where you're at.
Circumstances are or whatever, that
he's there, right? And that's one of those things in the last few years I've been learning a lot. I used to always, try to almost like invite God into my circumstances or my path and stuff. And then I've realized, well, he's always present, right? Like, he's always there. It's just a matter of me recognizing that he's always there.
Well, and that's a good point to
that.
make because a lot of people think peace is the absence of war.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not necessarily the truth. You can be going through something that feels like a war or feels awful and still find this peace in him.
Exactly.
This strength in him, giving him control, right? And
Yeah.
So that's important to know because if peace only comes because everything is beautiful out and perfect, whether that's outside or inside or your situation, that's really hard to...
I agree.
Right? Well, you're not going to have peace. It's impossible.
Yeah.
There's just too many variables out there. So
yeah, I think biblical peace happens when we remember that Christ is with us and when our mind and eyes are focused on God sometimes, even in the midst of what we go through. Isaiah 26:3 says, you keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you, right? And the idea behind that is that if our minds are on him, if we're trusting in him, there's a peace that comes to us, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily one you're always going to feel, but you're probably going to know it, even in those situations, that God is with you. Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers in Matthew chapter 5. For they will be called sons of God. And so there's something about living peaceful as well, right? And not trying to stir up,
Oh, that's a good point.
a bunch of fights with other people.
It's not just about you.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Romans 12:18 says, if possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with everyone.
That's good.
And I think that's an application for us today is that, not only knowing peace in your life is one thing, but also bringing peace into situations. Like we live in a world right now that uses a little peace.
Yeah,
right?
that's good stuff.
So walk into any political debate and to be an agent of peace in that moment would be a refreshing thing, I promise you, right? Not that I think there's anything wrong with debating these things. I'm just saying, sometimes we can get so caught up in wanting to be right or wanting to argue.
So passionate about something,
that we forget that, part of the thing Jesus calls us to is to be agents of peace, peacemakers, and to allow people to experience God, right? In Colossians 3:15, it says, and let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which you were called in one body, be thankful. So God's peace is with us, and I just think peace is it's underrated because because oftentimes if we don't keep our mind on God, if I don't keep my mind on Christ, and I choose to focus on every other thing, it could really rob you of that peace, right? or at least try to take it from you, right? And try to not help you.
I think with other people though, that was a really good point. Like if you could go into every situation and just look at it at the perspective of how can I bring peace to this situation right now?
Agreed.
Do you know what I mean? Like how can I be a peaceful presence? Whether that's like you just shut up, like sometimes, right? Like just keep my opinion. Like you're allowed to have different opinions and not be crazy about it, or maybe just be respectful, right? Like when you're talking about things. But that could be a game changer. Yeah. Because it feels like everyone's always competing and arguing and fighting, and you don't get me and I don't get you, and this is what I have to do and this is what you have. You know what I mean? It's like how can I bring peace to that situation, right?
And that's so huge, right? And if you live, if you are a peacemaker, as the Bible talks about, if you live that way, people are gonna be attracted to that. I think. At the end of the day, right?
I agree.
It's gonna be out of the ordinary. It's gonna feel refreshing. There's gonna be something about it. I think that's almost like light to a dark, right? So so peace it's definitely something we have in Christ. It's definitely something we know when we focus on Him, when our eyes are on Him. But it's also a way we live. It's the way we go out into this world. It's the way we approach situations. Our task isn't always to win. Isn't always to defeat somebody or do this. But bringing peace to the world, I think, could change the world and make it such a beautiful thing. John chapter 14:27. This is the last verse I'll read. But Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives to you. Do I give to you? Let your hearts not be troubled, neither let them be afraid." And so Jesus, just in a real calming moment, I think was telling his disciples there, the peace I give you is not like what the world can give you, right? But it's beyond that. And peace is really a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful fruit. And when people experience it and know it, it's life-changing.
Now what?
Peace be with you.
And also with you, good sir.
Yes. Did you ever do that before?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you grow up Catholic?
Yeah, so we'd go to Mass with school. Yeah. Right? So school, you'd always go to Mass. And when you were to greet each other, well, that's what we do in our church. You'd go say good morning, you'd be like, peace be with you. Yeah. Also with you.
I think that's traditional across most Catholic churches. And I have a funny little story about that. One year, me and my wife, a couple years after we got married, we're up in the Pas, Manitoba visiting her parents. And we went to Mass. Because the only thing that the evangelical churches were offering were like midnight services. So I'm like, I'm not going to midnight services. I'm going to go to Mass. We went to 7 o'clock Mass, and it was great. Yeah, I find Mass refreshing sometimes, actually. But during the middle of the service, they had us greet each other. And so I was looking over at my wife, and she was hilarious because she was shaking everyone's hand saying Merry Christmas. When you were actually supposed to say peace be with you and also with you, right?
But really, would you get off for saying Merry Christmas?
No, she didn't. I think people responded favorably.
Because it's Christmas,
I teased her about it forever afterwards,
awesome.
right? Because she never grew up Catholic, so she wouldn't have had any idea.
Peace be with you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Peace be with Merry Christmas.
So if it ever comes up, you'll have to Merry Christmas, Nicole.
Totally.
Right?
Or when she says Merry Christmas, I'll say peace be with you.
There you go. Do that. And she'll appreciate that I brought this up, I guarantee it. But no, now what? I think it's quite simple. It's one thing to know peace, and I hope everyone does know peace, right? And I could have gotten to the whole thing from Romans 5:2 about peace with God. That's the truest way to find peace, is to find God, right? And to find a relationship with Him. But it also affects the way we live. And I think sometimes just being an agent of peace into situations, especially ones where there seems to be nothing but peace, or there's strife, or there's anger, and whatever's happening, seek to be a person of peace this week. Maybe bring peace into certain situations. I think it would be a benefit to you and to the conversations you have, to the people around you. What is a way in which you could see something that seems like it's lacking peace, but maybe just by the way you live, maybe a kind word, maybe something you bring into the situation can bring peace. Yeah. Take that this week, I think. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of families too, like this isn't just talking like to work people or just like arguments with with whoever. Yeah. But like there's a lot of families that are really torn apart. Yes. And there's a lot of things that are going on. Like, is there a way to bring peace to that situation, or to maybe even just one of the people, or whatever, like just to start there, right?
Even just a moment of peace can just be such a refreshing thing throughout a tough time like that, right? Yeah. So do you wanna leave us with a blessing?
I do, right out of Scripture, and it works perfect because it's got the word peace in it.
I like that.
Awesome. So now, as you leave here today, may the Lord of peace Himself give you peace at all times, in all ways. The Lord be with each and every one of you as you enter into the rest of this week.
Amen.
Amen.
Awesome.
Well,
shall we toast? Do we call this toast? No, cheers, I guess, right?
Toast?
We'll toast the peace.
Are you going to toast somebody? Like roast them?
Today it's the peace.
Okay, peace.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us on Unedited.
And we'll see you next time.
it.
Joking.
If you fall off.
No, not doing it.
Some things
Yeah,
we only
on the
get,
move.
because even like the McDonald's thing, like no one's gonna know what the heck we're talking
McDonald's
about.
thing's awesome.